Okay, let's see. Is it streaming? Let me know if you guys can see me. Can you guys hear me? Let me see here. Oh God, don't tell me it's private. Hold on, let me make it public. Nope, it's public. Okay, good. Okay, good, you guys can see me. All right, awesome. Give me 2 seconds here. Good, I'm so happy everybody can see me. We have a lot of people in here. I'm sorry I had to, I was a little bit late. Some of my notes, I have literally like 3 MacBooks. And so some of my notes are on one MacBook and not the other. And the one that I use for streaming, it didn't have on my notes. And I really put a lot into this show, so I don't want to miss anything. I've been doing a lot of research. I want to make sure you guys can see me. I'm not too close. I'm not too far. Hey, everybody. We got a lot of people in the house. All right. Okay, perfect. So who all got a chance to watch the documentary that I put up earlier this week called Breeders? And then some people have the nerve to be offended like I named the damn documentary. Like, it's not my documentary. It was on Amazon Prime. So who got a chance to fully watch it? Thank you so much, Kelly Martin. She says, you're an amazing woman. Love from Long Island. That's what's up. What's up, Derek Todd? Hodifini says, hey, lovely T, I'm in college in bioethics, and we discussed a woman who was a surrogate who kidnapped her child after giving birth and later won custody. Yeah, the surrogacy thing is insane. I love you guys, too. See, I love my Sunday live streams because there's so much positivity in here. And I know that's why people love coming, because it's a lot of positive energy. So some of you guys were able to watch it. Some of you guys weren't. And that's okay. You know, it's just to bring you guys up to date. So to bring y'all to speed to the ones who didn't get a chance to watch it, I'm going to go ahead and play it for you guys. Just like the intro, so you guys kind of get an idea of everything that's going on. The reason why I really wanted to do this show... Let me try and minimize my screen. I have like 4 screens going on here. What's up, Efren Hernandez? I made you a moderator. I seen your, you were asking to be a moderator, so I made you one when I was going through my last live stream. So I'm glad to see you got a little blue wrench by your name. Yeah, they do need a surrogacy documentary on Netflix. This is my issue. The reason why I really want to do this show, because I started seeing it just... It's becoming so normalized, and then anytime I see a lot of celebrities jumping onto something and just normalizing it and constantly talking about it, it makes my damn tin hat tingle, okay? I start thinking, like, what agenda are they trying to push? And then I started, you know, running across younger girls who are in college who were asking, like, you know, they're literally thinking about renting their wombs. They're thinking about being surrogates. Because I think you only have to be, like, over, you know, a certain age. A lot of times they want for you to already have had a baby. But that's when you go through legal means. You got a lot of people out here trying to do the surrogacy thing bootleg as well. So you have some young girls who are thinking, like, yo, it's 30 grand. I'm broke right now. You know, who cares? Let me just go ahead and push out this baby. And, you know, I get my money. They get their baby. It's a win-win. But it's so much deeper than that, you guys. It really is. And we're not turning like a woman's body into just like a bankable machine, and babies are not being commodities. And it even reminds me, and not to make it, not to offend people, but it's almost like modern day slavery. Like, you know how like they would breed the slaves on the plantation, and they take these babies from these women, and because they thought that we were closer to animals and that we didn't have feelings, that they could take our babies from us and there'd be no attachment. The babies wouldn't care. The mothers wouldn't care. We were literally on the plantation just breeding out babies. And you have women who are doing this, and that's why the documentary is called Breeders, because a lot of women are being turned into breeders, and some of it is definitely their fault, but a lot of it is social pressures, it's economic pressures. It's such a deep topic, and I'm just so tired of, like, every time I watch like the Real Housewives of Atlanta, they're talking about it like it's just a bright sunny day, like it's just no big deal. You know, the other day I was watching it, and Candy and Todd, now after you cried about having a baby, God blessed you with a child, you were able to carry him through IVF, and so, you know, she doesn't want to go through another pregnancy, so she's thinking about using their last 2 eggs. They want to use them So now they're talking about doing a surrogate, but they're saying they want twins. And the doctor's saying, well, twins, it can be harder. It can be more stress on that woman's body. Oh, well, then we'll just get 2 different women to carry both of our babies. So they're making it seem like it's such a lighthearted thing, but like these surrogate women, they go through a lot, okay? So, okay, I'm getting some super chats. Thank you. Let me see here. What's up, Tiffany Adams? She said, hey, T, love you, girl. Be blessed and happy holidays. Thank you so much, sis. Happy holidays to you, too. And P says, Brooklyn. Oh, Pam Cohert says, Brooklyn loves you. I love Brooklyn, too. I love New York. That is like my third home, okay? So, yeah, it's deep. It's so deep. So let me go ahead and play you guys the trailer for Breeders. If you don't have Amazon Prime, maybe I can bootleg it for y'all. I don't know. But go ahead and check out the preview real quick. It's a really good documentary. Because so many times we always see the warm, fuzzy shit. But there's a lot of dark stuff behind surrogacy that nobody talks about. And I notice if you question anything, people attack you. If you leave a comment, you're like, yo, I'm not feeling this. You are attacked. You're told that you're heartless. How dare you make people who are infertile feel bad? And things like that. So let me go ahead and play you guys the trailer. Go ahead and check this out. Let me make sure I mute my computer. Okay. Oh.
But so it was just a relief to find out why.
The babies were born 2 weeks premature. They were getting ready to walk out of the room, and I said, please.
Okay, hold on. You guys were saying that you guys couldn't hear the sound? Okay, hold on. Okay, you guys said you guys can't hear the sound? Okay, let me try it again. That's why I'm so happy. Okay, let me try it again, you guys. Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to play it again. Let me know if you guys can hear the sound.
The thought that there are people that couldn't have children or that struggled to have children was just something that really touched me.
My understanding was that it would be me being a stay-at-home mom and him providing the financial support for that.
I had such a wonderful, beautiful experience with surrogacy that I thought, why wouldn't I do it again?
We expected a happy ending.
Infertility is an age-old problem. It's been with us since almost the beginning of time.
A family is love. Long gone are the days where we have a mom and a dad and 2 children.
As wonderful as other people might be as parents, the baby knows that that's not the mother they were expecting.
Some of the pieces of the puzzle didn't fit, so it was just a relief to find out why.
The babies were born 2 weeks premature.
They were getting ready to walk out of the room, and I said, please, can I please see him?
When I was going to visit the babies, one of the hospital social workers showed up. And she said, I understand we have a surrogacy situation here.
In many jurisdictions, there's no law at all that speaks to how to resolve disputes that arise in the context of assisted reproductive technologies.
There are so many other people involved.
It is not just her uterus that she's renting, it's her entire body.
Having to try to find a way to build a family outside the normal channels is very stressful for everyone. It's very difficult for us to stand in judgment.
It's important that we listen to and hear these stories.
Most of the consideration within surrogacy is towards the adults and what they want and what they're looking for.
This child's foundation of existence is a contract, an agreement, and more often than not, money. That's not in the best interest of a child.
I do believe it can be a wonderful, beautiful thing, but
all right. Okay, I'm glad you guys were able to hear it that time. Hey, Miss A. Hey, Donald, Vernetta. Let's see, we got a super chat. R. Parker says, just a friendly donation passing through. Thank you so much, love. I appreciate it. So that is the full documentary is on Amazon Prime. Now that documentary came out a few years ago, and I noticed it's just starting to become more popular now because people are starting to see certain things and dangers with surrogacy. So let me go ahead and say this, okay? Because what I don't want to do, I don't want this to be a show where people feel like I'm trying to be mean or I'm, clowning people who are infertile or looking down on people. That is not what I'm doing. This is not what this show is about. This is not to make anybody feel bad who can't have children, because I understand as human beings, as men and women, that's why we're put on earth. We're put on earth to be fruitful and to multiply, right? That's what it says in the Bible. So, we all have that urge to see, our mini-me's. We all want to see little versions of ourselves. For the most part, you have some women who don't want children. You have some men who don't want children. But for the vast majority of people want kids. And, what I've noticed is I've gotten older because what I've noticed as I've gotten older is that a lot of people are dealing with infertility issues. A lot of people who waited till they were older, they wanted to have their career and, go to school and all that stuff. So now they found their mate, they're married, and they're ready to have children. Let's say they quote unquote did it the right way. They weren't teen moms like myself and others. They waited. And so now they're trying to have a baby and they can't get pregnant. So back in the day, there wasn't a lot of options. You were just, you either divorced that person and tried with somebody else or just, whatever. Or you guys were just a couple who just didn't have kids. And one thing I noticed is that back in the day, you've always had people who couldn't have children. Like, you might have an aunt in the neighborhood or an older woman in the neighborhood and she couldn't have any kids. And so because of that, she took on, almost like a surrogate parenting role in the neighborhood. Like she looked out for the other people's children. She might have been like the neighborhood babysitter, or a guy who didn't have any kids. He might have stepped up as a mentor, as a coach. But now we live in such a me, such like a me type society where it's like, what? I need to have a child no matter what. Okay, good. So a lot of people are understanding that. And a lot of people feel like, I need to have a child no matter what. And back then, there was an option of adopting. There's so many kids that are in the foster care system, so many kids that need to be adopted. And that was like a really big thing. I have several friends who are adopted and things like that. And, they've turned out well adjusted. They may think about their birth parents from time to time. But for the most part, they look at their adoptive parents as their parents and that's it, right? And so what I've noticed now, like when I ask people and when I've been doing research on, why they want us, why they want to use a surrogate, why do they feel like they need to have a child? Like, why can't they adopt or why can't they just, not have children, but, take on the role of being a parent for other children or being a foster parent? And the number one thing that people keep saying is that I want my DNA in that child. You know what I'm saying? I want to see myself in that child. I want that child's eyes to look like mine, that child's features. I want to see a replica of me. And, it's like, well, what makes your DNA so great? You know what I'm saying? That you have to see your DNA in a child. Whereas if you're a good person and you want to be a parent, could you not, instill those same values into somebody that's not your child? Like, You're assuming that because you want to see your DNA that your child's going to turn out to be the next Barack Obama, the next Einstein. But you never know. The child could be a serial killer. So there's nothing special about anybody's DNA. Like, let's keep it real. Mine included. You know what I'm saying? Nobody has like this special DNA. There's a lot of things that factor us into becoming who we become. Everything from environmental, nature versus nurture, all types of stuff, right? So we live in a society where people feel like, well, if I can't have kids, well, now I'm going to pay somebody to have my baby. And what's happening now is that a lot of women, especially women who are in a lower social economic bracket, they are being exploited. And that's the part that does not get talked about at all. Let me go ahead and read some of these comments. Ogie is saying having a child in a family is expensive, period. Let's see here. Lady Cam official YouTube says I want to adopt as well. Johanna Williams says 3 people can't have a baby. That is so deep. Angels Cry says when God says no, it takes wisdom to understand. Almighty says people want blood kids. And that's another thing that people are really fighting with. Like, are we supposed to be doing this? And that's the thing that I've even wrestled with. And, you know, I've thought about possibly, you know, having another kid in the future if I get married and stuff like that. And I'm thinking to myself, like, you know, I don't know if I'm be able to go through another pregnancy, because I went through hell with my damn last pregnancy 13 years ago. And I don't know if I want to go through all that. And people are like, oh, well, you don't have to worry about that now, till you can just get a surrogate. Like, it's just being spoken about like it's just so normalized. And I was like, huh? And they're like, yeah, you can just get a surrogate. Everybody's doing it. You know what I'm saying? You have the money, just, you know, pay for a surrogate and have them carry your baby or whatever. And I'm just like, it's so insane that this has just become so normalized to the point where we even have social surrogacy. And for those of you guys who don't know what social surrogacy is, it is a real thing. It's basically now where, for the most part, when people went to go look for a surrogate, it was because they had a medical issue. Let's say, you know, they had an issue with their womb or their ovaries or just whatever. They're just infertile, right? And they can't carry the baby themselves. Well, now there's a new term called social surrogacy where, let's say I'm a model, or hell, I'm a YouTube personality, bitch. Okay, and I'm traveling all over the world. You know what I'm saying? And I don't have the time to carry a baby. I don't have the time to get fat. Lord knows I don't need no more stretch marks on my ass. Okay. So what's happening now is that women are saying, well, you know, I'll just pay you $10,000 and you carry my baby, or, you know, you're my friend and, you know, you're not really famous. You're not really in the public eye, so just carry my baby for me. And friends are doing this for other friends, and you know what I'm saying, and family members are doing this for other people. So it's called social surrogacy, where there's no medical issue wrong with these people, but because they're a model, they're an influencer, they're just too pretty, they don't want stretch marks, they don't want to deal with morning sickness, they're literally just having people carry their baby, almost like carrying a child in your arms. It's like, this is somebody, you know, going through the 9 months to gestate your child. Like, how is that just a quick decision? Like, it's the most insane thing, but it's real. Let me read some of these comments. If a female is 35 and a male is 45, you increase the risk of producing an autistic child. Back in the day, most people finished having kids by that age. Exactly. And now you have people like Janet Jackson having a baby at 50. You know, so you have women feeling like they can put their career on, you know, they can just go towards their career, put pregnancy on hold, put babies on hold, freeze their eggs. And you're technically supposed to start having babies young. I'm not saying 13 or no shit like that, but like, you know, between the ages of like 19, you know, to like 26 is like the ideal time for you to start, you know, thinking about a family and settling down. You know, typically, like biologically, like you're really not supposed to be pushing out babies at like 40, 45, 50 years old. But because of the advancement of technology, a lot of people are doing that now. And a lot of girls are feeling like, well, I can just freeze my eggs, and then when I get ready to have a baby, my eggs will be there. But by then, you might physically not be able to carry that child, even if your eggs are frozen. Let me read some more comments here. Let's see. We have close to 1,753 people in here so far. Some older women use donor eggs. Exactly. What's up, Mercedes? Helen says, I'm 32 and I love kids. Ricky Forrest says, Janet's baby is healthy and blessed. And we all understand that most babies who are born through IVF and surrogacy, they're healthy and blessed. They have 10 toes and everything else. But again, Janet Jackson carried her baby, so that's different. I'm talking about people who are, you know, allowing their babies to incubate in somebody else's womb. So let me go ahead and play this here. Tiana says, I'm having kids at 28. Let's see here. Beyonce got helpers. No, you're not late. We're just getting started. This show will probably be longer than an hour because I want to get through all these notes, okay? So let me go ahead and play you guys this video concerning social surrogacy. A lot of people think it's some type of myth, but it's not. So I'm going to go ahead and play that for you guys right now. Check this out. For some reason it's not playing. Let me drop the file in. For some reason it's not playing.
Secret. The growing number of women who are choosing to use surrogates for
2
social
seconds.
rather than medical reasons. ABC's Paula Ferris has the story.
For most women, carrying your own baby is the ultimate joy, seen time and time again in movies like What to Expect When You're Expecting. But a surprising article in the May issue of Elle magazine reveals more and more women are turning to surrogates, not because they can't conceive, but because they don't want to. It's a phenomenon some are calling social surrogacy.
This is a wonderful opportunity for women to have more choices.
Dr. Sarah Juddy runs an agency that matches surrogates with women who have non-medical reasons for not wanting to carry their own babies. She says their reasons run the gamut from not wanting to interfere with their careers to being afraid of what pregnancy will do to their bodies.
We have people who are they're afraid of being pregnant. Some people work in an industry where image is very important, so they don't want to have to go through the changes that happen in a woman's body when they get pregnant.
But even with the interest in social surrogacy on the rise, it's still a touchy subject.
Women are really guarded about issues involving their bodies and pregnancy and surrogacy because they're afraid of being judged.
And that's not the only thing giving some women pregnant cause for concern. With surrogacy costing around $100,000 or more per child, it may not be for everyone.
You have to ask yourself why you're doing this. Is there real benefit of bypassing the beautiful experience of carrying a child?
For Good Morning America, Paula Ferris, ABC.
Okay, you guys, I'm sorry. You guys were saying the video was echoing and then it stopped. So let me see here. YouTube is like bugging tonight. I don't even know why the video didn't even play the first time around. But anyhow, so let me see here. So that's social surrogacy, right? So I want to play you guys this other video because I know I showed that to a few people. And they were just like, what in the world is going on? People are just, you know, getting pregnant for other people who don't feel like having a baby. Not that they can't have a baby, right? So now there's a story that was viral a few months ago. And basically was where the daughter could not get pregnant. Okay, it was a husband and wife. The daughter-in-law couldn't get pregnant because of something that happened to her when she was younger. She couldn't have a baby. And so they had the mother-in-law, which was the son's mother, carry their child. And I just thought this situation was just insane. I'm going to go ahead and play you guys this video. So this was like another version of social surrogacy with them having, you know, a family member carry the baby for free. But in this situation was because of a medical situation. So go ahead and check this out. Hopefully it doesn't echo. Give me a second here. What in the world is going on?
Kayla asked her mother-in-law, Patty, to carry her child. This is how they told her she was pregnant.
We're going to do it again. I don't know what is going on. Either there's no sound, it's echoing. I don't know what is up with OBS or YouTube tonight. Let me play it again.
This couple couldn't be happier. A husband and wife learning they're about to become a family of 3. But it's not the bride who's pregnant, it's her mother-in-law. She carried their child as a surrogate.
We're here now. This little darling baby.
Meet Cross, their precious newborn. Kayla was a teenager when she found out she wouldn't be able to have a baby because of a benign tumor in her uterus.
When you're 17, it doesn't hit you as much that you can't have children. It really hit me harder once I got married and realized as I got older and wanted kids more, it hit harder.
So Kayla asked her mother-in-law, Patty, to carry her child. This is how they told her she was pregnant. Patty did the best she could to keep Mom and Dad part of the pregnancy experience.
Then when Cross started moving around, I tried to videotape my belly kind of moving. And, I just felt so bad that she wasn't able to carry him. And I wanted her to feel like she was there,
Patty, how are you feeling? Doing good? Nervous yet?
Several months later in the hospital, the whole family gathered for the big day.
Me and Patty have a great relationship. It's definitely not a typical mother and daughter-in-law.
Now they bond over Patty's grandson, Kayla's son.
She always said that, she was the grandmother, and so that made me feel good.
A special relationship like no other. I'm Lee Sheps for InsideEdition.com.
All right, you guys. So I see a lot of different reactions, and I felt the same way. I see some people like, oh, this is incest. Well, it's not technically incest because the son and the mother didn't sleep together, but she is carrying her grandchild. But I think this shit is weird. I don't care. And one thing I noticed is that if anybody said it was weird on the video, or was like, this is just weird, it's just strange. We're not knocking these people, but it's just weird that the grandmother carried her son's child. It's just strange to me. But if you say that, people attack you like, you're so insensitive and you're the weirdo. And it's like, no, this is not normal. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is not, like, a grandmother is not supposed to carry her grandchild. Like, it's just weird, whatever floats people's boats. But it's just a lot. So that's what I'm saying. Like, there's a lot of, like, nuances to this whole surrogacy thing. It's not so cut and dry as they try and make it look like on reality television with some of these celebrities who are having babies via surrogate. Let me see some of the comments. B Queen says he's the brother and the daddy. Technically he really is. People can try and get offended if they want to, but technically he is the brother to that child because his mother carried the child, but he's also the child's father. Just like the grandmother is also the grandmother, but the mother. It's just weird. Yeah, a lot of people are saying that it's weird, but if they're happy, it is what it is. Mabrielle says, I don't know why it's not letting you comment, Mabrielle. Queenie says, sounds weird as fuck. Let's see here. Sounded like Deliverance, the movie. You can have your opinion. Would you do it, T? And that's the thing I have been, the more I researched it, it's just not for me. I feel like, maybe I was just meant to have 2 kids and that's it. You know what I'm saying? If I can't carry the child myself, then it just, it's just not meant for me, but to each its own. Now, as far as everything, people are like, this is some fuckery. Yes, it was the mother's eggs, not the grandmother's eggs. Like, you see how confusing that is? And it's like, how do you explain that to the child? I don't know. It's just strange. But, let me see here. I want to make sure we stay on topic. Did that. All right, so another thing that is becoming really popular, another thing from the documentary Breeders is what they were saying. What I didn't realize is what the women go through. So, like I said, they make it seem like it's so simple. You have a lot of young girls saying that, they're thinking about being surrogates and, they might have had 1 baby. They're a struggling single parent. And they feel like, okay, well, they'll just be a surrogate for their 2nd and 3rd and make, $60,000 and it's all good. Because in America, to be a surrogate through an agency, you can make anywhere from like $60,000 to $130,000, depending on the couple and the finances and stuff like that. So it's not cheap. But what a lot of people are saying is that what they were saying in that documentary, is that basically what I didn't know is that a lot of people don't do traditional IVF/surrogacy anymore. So back in the day when they first started doing IVF and using surrogates, what they would do, you could use something as simple as a turkey baster, okay? You get the guy's semen, inject it, the woman would carry the baby and give the baby to the couple or whatever, right? So that's what they call like traditional IVF, traditional surrogacy, where it would be the man's sperm, but then it would be the host, the breeder. It would be her body and her eggs being used, right? But now because we live in a me society, and technology has advanced, so now what they do is that they can hopefully take the eggs from the woman. So maybe she just can't carry because maybe her womb keeps making her have miscarriages, or she just can't keep a baby, but she has healthy embryos, healthy eggs. So what they'll do is take the eggs from her, take the sperm from the man, basically incubate them in like a petri dish or some shit, I don't know, and then they implant it into the surrogate. So that's what they do now. So that's the version of modern surrogacy, where the child will have both the mother and the father's DNA, but it's just a breeder or a host womb carrying that child, right? But here goes the catch. And because most people are leaning towards that. Most people are not trying to use the surrogate's eggs because the mother wants her DNA in there with the baby, right? So what I didn't know, because I was always confused, I didn't know that you have to go through like a litany of like drugs. They give the surrogates like all types of drugs and chemicals and things like that to make her stop ovulating. So you have to go through those rounds of treatments for, I don't know, weeks, months, I don't know how long it is, but you have to go through this treatment for however long it takes for you to stop ovulating, because what they don't want to happen, which has happened in a few rare cases, is that the surrogate is still ovulating, and then somehow, there's extra sperm, hanging around on the damn egg that they put together, and then somehow the surrogate also gets pregnant with like a twin, and one baby is the surrogate's baby and one baby is the other couple's baby. Because this has happened where the surrogate's baby ended up getting fathered by the other guy. And then there was another situation where the surrogate had sex with her husband, right? And they went through the whole thing thinking that it wasn't going to be their child, thinking it was going to be the child that they're giving up. And then when the child came out, the child was biracial. Well, the couple was white. And then they realized, like, oh, hell no, this is not our baby. Like, what happened? Well, before the implantation, her and her husband had sex and they had conceived the child. So it's a lot. I mean, it's when I tell you that, I was like reading up on so much stuff. It's not as easy as people think it is. So these surrogates, you young girls who are thinking about doing this, you're putting your body through a lot of stress, a lot of chemicals going into your body. Yes. Who said that? Ta'ana Kowan said, what the fuck? That's crazy. Tatamia says it's happened multiple times. Yeah, you definitely, it's really serious. You don't want to do that, because if it ends up being your child, let's say they pay you, they pay you $130,000 and this child ends up being yours, or they don't want the baby. Some people might be like, okay, well fine, I'll raise a mixed baby. Other people are like, no, I'm white, I want a full white baby. Then you got to get back all that money. So it's like you have to be very, very careful. They don't even want you having sex with your boyfriend or significant other for at least like 2 to 3 months until like the whole process is done. So now your man is over here with blue balls, you know what I'm saying? He can't get off because you're trying to be a surrogate. So it's a lot. So when you're in a relationship, it's definitely something that you, your husband, your significant other have to really be on board, because you have to be very, very careful. That's why they prefer single women, young single women who don't have a boyfriend, so that way there's no potential of an outside pregnancy. So yeah, it's a lot of stuff, VH1 Access. It's a lot that they have to go through, and they don't talk about that. They just make it look like, okay, here goes the surrogate. Oops, I'm ready to, hold your baby. But they go through a lot of chemical stuff in order to get them to stop ovulating. And then my thing is, how do you know that those chemicals may not affect you in the future when you're ready yourself to have your own baby? You know what I'm saying? But you done took some chemical shit to make you stop ovulating. How do you know that may not affect you when you decide to have your own children, right? Now, another thing. Let's see here. Lots of comments. Susie S says, LOL, a full white baby. I'm just saying, if I'm a white couple, okay, and I'm white, my husband's white, just like, okay, I'm black, my husband's black, you're not about to just give me a biracial child. That ain't my child, so that, you people pay for what they want. So that's why I said that. But it's a lot that goes into it. Sharice Alexander is saying the same thing. Wow, that's weird. I can only imagine the parents' reaction. Yeah, it's very heartbreaking, because so many things can happen when you're trying to play God. And that's what these scientists, to me, are personally doing, right? And they try and sell it like, oh, we're helping infertile couples. We're giving childless parents, something that, it's a gift. That's how they try and sell it to these women, especially these young girls, that you're helping this childless couple. And, as human beings, we want to do the right thing. We want to help other people. But my thing is, don't help somebody to the detriment of yourself, because you don't know what might be going on with your body internally when you're signing up to be a surrogate. Now, another thing I want to touch on, which to me is very, very important. Okay, they're saying that it was a few things I read in like different reports. A lot of surrogate women, the ones who do like the new age surrogacy, where it's the donor, it's like the mother's egg and the father, like the donor people's egg and sperm. It's easier for them to be, quote unquote, less attached to the baby because it's not her egg, it's not her DNA. So they're saying that a lot of surrogates do prefer to do it that way, because in that way, mentally, they're thinking to themselves, well, this child doesn't have my DNA, so it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? There's no attachment there. I'm just providing a service and everything else. But what a lot of women are now finding out is that they're kind of biting off more than they can chew. Because even though, yes, you're providing a quote-unquote service, you're still going through that morning sickness like it was your child. You're still going through a lot of stuff. You're getting fatter. You're getting stretch marks. You're going through everything as if it was your child, regardless of what the DNA is. But the thing that really bothers me is this. When you're pregnant, and you're pregnant with a baby, that baby feeds off of everything. It feeds off of your happiness, your sadness, your anger. The baby feeds off of everything. And when it's a baby that you're carrying, that's your baby, and that's your, your husband or your fiance or your boyfriend, your baby daddy, whatever, baby, there's like a certain love there. You know what I'm saying? There's a certain energy. There's a certain bond. So my thing is, if this is just a business transaction, what is that baby inside? I'm sorry, I keep pointing to my stomach like I'm damn pregnant or some shit. What is that baby? But I mean, I'm just keeping it real. What is that baby feeling? You know what I'm saying? Like there has to be a coldness there. And as women, we're not meant to to carry life and have that block, have that coldness there towards a embryo, towards a life that you're cultivating inside your womb. Like that's not normal. So my thing is, how is that going to affect that child down the line? Let me see what y'all got to say in the comment section. And thank you so much, Ebony, for the donation. I appreciate it, love. And if you got to go through postpartum, is there another $2,000? No, there's no payment. You hand over the baby. No one cares about your postpartum depression. Nobody cares if you're, sad that, the baby's gone now. They don't care. It's a business transaction, and that's all it is, unfortunately. Let's see here. Dahlia says, this is a nice gift to give to a family who can't conceive on their own. And I mean, everybody has their opinion, but again, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of red flags that are being raised. There's a lot of things that you have to ask. You can't just say it's a nice gift, because again, that baby's grown inside of a womb of a mother that doesn't really have an attachment or any love for that baby. The mother has to psychologically tell herself, this is a business transaction. I cannot show this baby love. I cannot be attached to this baby. I have to just think, this is John and Becky's baby, and I have to hand it over. So again, while you're saying this is a nice gift for that couple, yes, in right now it's a nice gift, but as that baby's grown older and they didn't feel that attachment in the womb to the person that was cultivating and giving them, that was supposed to be giving them that love and attachment, what is that going to do to that child psychologically as they get older? So those are just the things that I'm throwing out there, and people don't think about that. Divine Love is saying, what about spiritual beliefs? Right. What if you're a Christian couple and the woman who is carrying your child, is part of the, practices occult rituals? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of stuff. I mean, you can say that, oh, well, we checked the surrogate out. She passed a mental health evaluation and, the clinic said this, and that about the surrogate. But at the end of the day, you're not with somebody 24/7. You don't know what that person may or may not be doing, especially, once again, they're supposed to be not attached to that baby. So being that they're not attached to that baby, do you really know if that surrogate is or is not, smoking some damn weed? Because hell, it ain't her baby anyway. It's just a check. You don't know what people are really doing while they're carrying your child. You know, we had a case where I talked about on Lovely News Network where a woman straight finessed a couple out of $7,000. She pretended to be pregnant. She was supposed to be their surrogate, and they gave her 7 racks, and she was never pregnant. She just basically took the money, gave them a bunch of fake ass ultrasounds and everything else, and 9 months later there was no baby. And the fact that they thought that this was only going to cost $7,000 says a lot. So you have a lot of people doing it also the bootleg way as well. And they're not understanding, like, you know, you really don't know who these people are that you're having them, you know, carry your child and carry your seed and things like that. Let's see here. Chandra Strickland says, you are right, T. I never thought about that. You had to detach in order to give up after 9 months. Thank you. I'm so glad you get it. Thank you so much. It's the truth. It's the truth. Like, you really have to. There's a lot of comments. Yeah, you definitely have to do that. And then what's somebody say about if the couple gets divorced? Let's see here. There's so many comments here. Shira says they go to the doctor's appointments if it's legit. Yeah, they're supposed to be, but like I said, you have people who are trying to take shortcuts, unfortunately, and they got finessed and the lady was arrested, so it's definitely a real story. Let's see here. Yeah, they thought they was gonna get a baby for $7,000. Somebody else says maybe they should have somebody like a trusted family member or a friend carry their child. And they can do that. That's what we just showed. We showed the grandmother carrying her son's baby. You know, so people do that all the time. But at the end of the day, it's still not yours. So now this is some research here that came up when I was pulling up some stuff. I'm going to read to you guys some stuff from this article. Really interesting. Okay, so we're talking about, you know, fetal development and stuff like this. So this is what scientists are now saying. Because, again, there's more research coming now because, like, the first and second generation of surrogate babies are now, you know, getting older. They're coming into themselves. And so now they're starting to go back and really look at how this is affecting these children. So it says here, the science of fetal development is telling us that 9 months in the womb are critical to a child, not just physically, but emotionally. The intentional separation of a newborn from the only person he or she has known may have long-term negative effects. A study published by the Journal of Child Psychology and Psychiatry that compared to children of surrogacy to those conceived with donor gametes found that children of surrogacy showed higher levels of adjustment difficulties at the age of 7. The author places an importance in gestation, concluding that the absence of gestational connection to the mother may be more problematic for children than the absence of the genetic link. And then there's a woman named Jessica Kern. She's a child of surrogacy, and she recently testified in front of the Washington City Council, and she courageously admits, from where I'm sitting, surrogacy is not the magic answer to creating families. More often, it's a source of lifelong pain for everyone involved. So these are the reports that are coming out that nobody's talking about. You know, all we see is, you know, these celebrities getting their bundle of joy and the happiness on their faces. But this is real stuff that's not being scientifically proven. And y'all can get offended all you want to, but I'm not the scientist who came up with this. But this is stuff that they've been studying, these surrogate babies. And by the time they get to age 7, they're starting to show issues of having that detachment from their mothers who carried them in the womb. So let's see here. Thank you, Sketch, for the donation, and happy birthday. I know your birthday was the other day. I seen that on Instagram. Let's see. Emma Sankofa says, that is true. It causes neurological brain damage in the child. Nature versus nurture. Oh, wow. That's really deep. So she understands that. Let's see here. Christina says, very interesting topic. Scorpio says, you can make a few $1,000s selling your eggs. Yes, you can. It's like such a money hustle. It really is. Keisha says, it has to be traumatizing to hear one voice for 9 months and then given away to someone new. Their real legal parents are strangers. No breastfeeding or bond or anything. Right. It's a lot. You know, it's a lot. And a lot of people are not looking at the big picture. Thank you, Foxy Bells. I'm glad you understand where I'm coming from. Nicole says, right, the bond is spiritual between a mother and child. Science doesn't need to tell me that. Pam Cohort said, my husband told me to donate. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's the truth. Somebody else says, let me see, Allegra says, some people can handle any child and bond with them, but this isn't for everyone. Some cannot bond with their own children, right? And that was one of the things that happened in the documentary, is that a lot of these women thought they could do it. The one woman, I think she was a surrogate like 3 times, and by the 3rd time, it took a lot out of her to realize that she was bonding with these babies and just having to give them up. Another thing that happens that a lot of people don't want to talk about, and like I told y'all, we're going to get there, is surrogacy baby abandonment, okay? A lot of people don't like to talk about this because it's uncomfortable, but I'm here for it, bitch. How you doing? JD says, unfortunately, I have to get back to work, but I'm definitely loving. We'll catch up later. Sending love from Ratchet Ass, Florida. Thank you so much for the donation, JD. And yes, check back once the live is done. I appreciate all the donations tonight. We got a few more. But yeah, so there's a such thing as surrogacy baby abandonment. And this tends to happen, and I hate to use this word, but when you use it, people just understand, in so-called third world countries, even though I hate that because there's no such thing as the third world. That's a racist term. But it tends to really happen, like they tend to get away with it more there, but it's also been cases in America that's happened as well. And what that means is this. There's a lot of unethical things that go on in certain places. You'll have it in certain places like in India where they were literally implanting these women with like multiple eggs, like, you know, let's say 5 eggs. And let's say all 5 eggs take. Well, you don't really want a woman in a so-called third world country giving birth to quintuplets. So then they would do where it's called like, you know, like an abortion where they pick. So they would decide, you know, do you want the twins? Do you want one child? Do you want, you know, what do you want? And sometimes the parents be like, okay, we just want the one baby. We can only afford one baby. Kill the other 4. Or, okay, we want twins, but we only want a boy and a girl. You know, we only want a boy and a girl twin. Or we want 2 girl twins. Kill the boys. Okay? So that's one thing that they do. Another thing is, now let's say the surrogate goes through, you know, she's pregnant. Let's say she's 4 months pregnant. And this is one of the things they talked about in the Breeder documentary. She found out that the baby was going to have some type of birth defect. And so, and the baby she had before that, she had miscarried. So when she miscarried, then of course all the payments stopped and everything else. And they told her, you know, well, we paid you up until this point. You need to get pregnant again, which she did. So then the second time she got pregnant, now mind you, this isn't even her egg. This is the donor egg and the donor sperm. So technically this is this husband and wife. This is, you know, their egg creating whatever issues with this baby. So they go to the ultrasound and they find out that the baby has some type of birth defect. And so at that point, they're pressuring her like, no, you need to have an abortion. You know, we're not paying for a defective baby. There's another case in the States recently where the woman's baby ended up having Down syndrome. And they were trying to sue the surrogate because the surrogate was refusing to have an abortion. She said, look, I'm a so-called breeder. That's what some of them call themselves. I'm here to bring forth life. I didn't sign up to have abortions. You know, whatever you get is what you get. Just like if you were to carry this child and the child came out with Down syndrome, you know what I'm saying, you can't force me to have an abortion. So the family told her, if you don't abort this Down syndrome baby, we're not paying for you. We're not paying for the baby. And it's your job to raise the baby and figure out what you're going to do. And they hauled ass. So you have people who get themselves into that situation. Well, because she didn't want to have an abortion, she ended up having the baby. It was a Down syndrome baby. And then she ended up giving it to like a family that already had like children with Down syndrome that they were able to care for. So you have this happening. It also happened recently overseas in Asia, where another baby was born with Down syndrome, and the family was an Australian family, and they had the woman carry this baby, and the baby comes out with Down syndrome. This is in Asia, so the baby's white. It has Down syndrome. Of course, it's not going to fit in Asia like that, and they refused the baby. So now this Asian woman is stuck raising this white Down syndrome baby that's not of her DNA. So people don't talk about these stories. All you see is, you know, the smiling, you know, infertile couple with the brand new baby, but there's also a dark side to this, and that's why I'm talking about it, and that's why I'm keeping it real. I'm not speaking on this to, you know, shame anybody or make anybody feel bad. I'm just telling y'all the other side to surrogacy. See, y'all didn't look at all these wows and oh my God, very sad. Yes, you guys. It like real things happen. I mean, just think about it. Regular everyday people get pregnant and may have a baby with Down syndrome, or a baby with a chronic illness, or a baby with a health issue. And at that point, you have to decide, if they find out early enough, do you want to keep the baby? Do you want to get rid of the baby? And if you sign a contract with a surrogate, those parents are paying good money, so they feel like if I'm dropping $130,000 on a baby, that baby better have all 10 fingers and 10 toes and be smart as a whip and be beautiful and everything else. And if that baby has any type of defect, they don't want it. So again, you can't tell me that they're not turning these babies into commodities. Got another donation. Aranda says, such a great topic. Thank you so much, love, and thanks for the donation, honey. Ray Krell says, I'm shook. Brooklyn says, whoa. Jaleesa says, children are a blessing no matter what. Yeah, and they are. But again, put yourself in the mind frame of an infertile couple who's not able to have a child. And so their only thinking is they want a child. That's it. And they want a child to be healthy, to be the best possible child, with no issues. They don't want a child with Down syndrome because they know it's going to be more work. That's therapy. That's more money. That, you know what I mean? So again, that's the mentality, because this is a business transaction. Some of y'all won't even buy bad fruit. Let y'all go to the store and there's an apple that's brown, or a banana with like brown spots. You won't even buy it. So that's the mentality that some people have. Like, no, if I'm paying this money, it needs to look flawless. It needs to look showroom sharp. That's the mentality, and that's the sad part. And so you've had surrogates be put in a situation where they don't want to have abortions. They don't believe in abortions. And now they're being told, if you don't have an abortion, well, then that's it. You're raising that child. And unfortunately, because it's in the contract, they're stuck with these babies. So a lot of times they'll end up having these babies and they'll give them away to families that can better, deal with the child with special needs and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a whole dark side. Kingdom Heart says it's not uncommon for them to disown kids in Asia. Yeah, definitely. Miss Beautiful says fertile couples and infertile couples both want healthy babies. Exactly. So I don't understand why people are acting like, brand new. People, just regular people, want healthy babies. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot to deal with the child with special needs. You know what I'm saying? It takes a special person. It takes a special mother to deal with that. There's one of my subscribers who's dealing with her beautiful child. She's an excellent mother, and her child has special needs. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot to deal with, and you don't want that child being left with somebody who cannot adequately care for that child, who's going to abuse that child. And if they don't even want that child while it's in the womb and the parent doesn't want to have nothing to do with it, them keeping that child is not in that child's best interest at all. And especially if there's nothing connecting them. It's one thing if it's a mother carrying a child and it's her child, her embryo, her egg, and she finds out that the child has special needs. It's going to be a certain connection and a love and a bond there with that child. But when it's a surrogacy situation, the child is not of that surrogate's mother's DNA. So technically there's not that bond there, because it's a business transaction. And for the parents whose the child carries their DNA, they spent all this money, they want a perfect child. So it's that crazy. Let's see here. D says, I'm just coming in. Who we speaking about? Let's see here. Nunu says, one bad apple don't spoil a whole bunch. Of course. But we're not saying that it's going to spoil a whole bunch. We're talking real stuff here, because again, we only show one side, and I'm here to show all sides. While we have the good stories like, Kim Kardashian having Chicago West via surrogacy and Gabrielle Union and stuff like that, there's also a dark side, and we're here to talk about the dark side. Okay. So, let's see here. Who put on their tin hat? Oh yeah, Sugar Heart, we're going to talk about that next. That's on the docket. Sugar Heart is talking about designer babies. A designer baby is a human embryo which was genetically modified, usually following guidelines set by the parent or scientist to produce desirable results. Yes, we're going to be talking about that next here. Let's see. If you have a special needs embryo, that's still yours. It's not the surrogate's fault. Exactly. But some of these parents act like the surrogate did something wrong. Oh, you must have not been eating, all your grains and whole wheat. You must have not been doing something when technically it's not even their DNA. So that's the sad part. C. Nelson says, I'm 39 and I just had a healthy baby. Congratulations. And she had the baby herself. Congrats. The surrogate mother is still using her blood, plasma, in her body in that baby. Yeah. Somebody else said something about the fathers. Imagine the husband and wife breaking up because they don't want the baby no more. Now, that's funny that you said that, because that's exactly what happened with Sherry Shepherd. And this, Sherry Shepherd is a special one. I've worked with her before. This situation just made me really kind of dislike her more. But anyhow, as we all know, a few years ago, Sherry Shepherd was bragging on The View. She's going to be a mother. She's the same woman who had like umpteen abortions. Told the world about all her abortions. She was doing abortions as, birth control. And then, shocker, when she decided to want to have a baby with her husband, Lamar Sally, she couldn't get pregnant because she had a shit ton of abortions when she was younger. And so at that point, they decided to hire a surrogate, and her name is Jessica Bartholomew. They hired her to conceive the child. So this was going to be her egg, because I guess they wanted a biracial baby or something. I don't know. But it was going to be her egg, but Sally's sperm. So they went about it like the more traditional route, where it's the surrogate's egg and it's the, the man's sperm. But Sherry Shepherd was supposed to be legally the mother. She was going to adopt the child, just like, it was going to be legally his child as well. Well, then they started having issues in their marriage, and they ended up divorcing. And at that point, Sherry was like, oh, well, not my kid. I don't want to have nothing to do with the kid. They had to take this broad to court, because legally she was the mother. Like, you signed the contracts, you went through with this, you picked, the surrogate, you paid all this money, and now you're just going to walk away from this baby that was supposed to be your child. So this is another ugly case that can happen with surrogacy, that people just kind of brush under the rug, because again, it's a money-making business. So do you want the bad stories highlighted? No, you want the Kim Kardashian stories highlighted and the Gabrielle Union stories highlighted. No one really talks about when Sherry Shepherd pulled this bullshit ass stunt on her ex-husband. I'm going to go ahead and play you guys the video. Hopefully you guys can hear it. I don't know. Keep our fingers crossed. Let's see here.
It's a huge defeat for Sherry Shepherd, former co-host of The View. A judge has declared her the legal mother of a baby boy born via surrogate. Sherry and her ex Lamar Sally have been locked in a war over responsibility for the baby Lamar Jr., seen here in Twitter photos, since his birth 8 months ago. Single mom Jessica Bartholomew was hired to carry the baby for a reported $25,000. An egg donor was also used. Inside the Pennsylvania courthouse, the judge listened to interviews in which Sherry expressed excitement about her surrogate's pregnancy.
I'm having a baby, so everything is going great. Whoa.
Sherry shocked her fans when it was revealed 6 months into the surrogate's pregnancy that she wanted nothing more to do with the baby. Jessica's name was placed on the birth certificate, making her legally responsible for baby Lamar Jr., or LJ.
I'm very relieved. I'm very relieved this is not my child.
Sherry was a no-show at the court hearing.
I think that she owed me an apology for the things she's put me through for the last year. I think she owes me, Jessica.
Okay, I'm going to play it over because there was an echo. Like I said, I don't know what's going on. We're going to play it over. We will not let YouTube mess up my live, okay? So, there we go. It should work now.
It's a huge defeat for Sherry Shepherd, former co-host of The View. A judge has declared her the legal mother of a baby boy born via surrogate. Sherry and her ex Lamar Sally have been locked in a war over responsibility for the baby Lamar Jr., seen here in Twitter photos, since his birth 8 months ago. Single mom Jessica Bartholomew was hired to carry the baby for a reported $25,000. An egg donor was also used. Inside the Pennsylvania courthouse, the judge listened to interviews in which Sherry expressed excitement about her surrogate's pregnancy.
I'm having a baby, so everything is going great.
Sherry shocked her fans when it was revealed 6 months into the surrogate's pregnancy that she wanted nothing more to do with the baby. Jessica's name was placed on the birth certificate, making her legally responsible for baby Lamar Jr., or LJ.
I'm very relieved. I'm very relieved this is not my child.
Sherry was a no-show at the court hearing.
I think that she owed me an apology for the things she's put me through for the last year. I think she owes, me, Jessica, and LJ, because some point she's going to have to look in his face and say, I'm sorry, this, you were conceived out of love.
Okay, so I hope that was better. Like I said, YouTube is tripping. Either it's too low or it's echoing, but if I hear that it's echoing, I'll just play it over again for you guys. So you guys just saw that. Sherry Shepherd is a trip. I'm not a fan of hers. Especially when she did all that at that man's funeral, the comedian that died. Anyhow, yeah, so she basically picked this white woman, you know what I'm saying? Her and her husband, were supposed to be the surrogate parents to this baby, and then because they got a divorce, she just thought she could walk away and she legally wouldn't be responsible, and now she's stuck paying child support, and the man is now a single father. So it's insane, but these are real cases. So again, don't let the media fool you and hype stuff up and act like just everything is okay and everything's perfect and it's not a big deal. There's a lot of things that come with the whole surrogacy situation, and she has to pay child support. Ex-Davia. And somebody said it's their birthday. I forgot who that was. Happy birthday. I saw your name. She's like, it's my birthday, T. Happy birthday. And somebody else, okay. Shakia says, I'm sipping my lovely tea and listening to Table Talk. Thank you, Shakia. I'm sipping my lovely tea as well. And shout out to Selbelio Mari, new member. Welcome. Okay, I found the birthday message. Miss Blue, happy birthday, sis. Yeah, so imagine now, you guys. I don't know why they didn't use a black surrogate. Maybe they wanted the baby to have, good hair, honey, and, light skin, green eyes. I don't know. Okay, I'm just assuming. I don't know. But they chose to use a white surrogate. That is their right. When you choose to have somebody carry your womb, you look through a book and you get the pick. So, but my thing is this. Imagine now when that child gets older, okay, and they're going to Google themselves or Google their parent, and they find this out. Like, you guys literally chose to make this baby in love. Maybe not, the regular way, like making love and getting pregnant, but you guys chose to contractually make this baby with this woman, and then for her to just, wash her hands of it and act like she had no legal responsibility, didn't care about the child. And they said to this day, she doesn't see the child. She has no connection with the child. She doesn't babysit the child. The man is now a single father raising this child, and basically she just pays child support, and that's it. What kind of mess is that? Like, how's this baby supposed to feel as it gets older? Granted, the white woman is the mother technically because the white woman carried it and it's her DNA, but then on the other hand, Sherry Shepherd was supposed to be his mother, so it's a sad situation. Almighty Coven says she's wrong for that. Yup. 15 Adabas says did extra mess to pull all that mess. Exactly. JG said it's gonna affect the child. Let's see here. DW says awful Sherry. Yeah, but honestly, I wasn't shocked. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm not shocked that she pulled that stunt. I will leave it at that. Let's see here. Is this the same child she's always raving about on Tom Joyner morning show? I don't know because I don't listen to his show. Amari Campbell says, right, why did they want a biracial baby? They are not biracial. I don't know, honey. I don't know. But that leads me to talk about our next topic, because we've been on here now for an hour. Let me see here. Well, no, I'm going to wait till the next one because that's really, really controversial. So I'm going to wait. There's another topic, okay? So we're not going to go to the controversial one yet. Well, we're going to say that to the end. Okay, so now we all love twins. Raise your hand if you're a twin. Don't lie either. I don't want to see like 50 hands go up. Raise your hand in the comment section if you are a twin or if you have twins. Let's see how many twins are there. My grandmother is a twin. My brother, his wife is an identical twin, and they're getting ready to have another baby. So I'm going to be an auntie, you guys. I'm so excited. I'm going to be an auntie again, and I'm going to keep that baby. That's going to be my baby. That's why I'm like, I don't even need no baby because my brother's about to have another baby. So we have twins. Okay, so Alexis says I'm a twin. Dark Princess, you're a twin? I did not know you're a twin. Are you an identical twin? Do you have a twin sister or a twin brother? Okay, so Shania's right. Okay, we got a few hands. Who did says I'm a twin? Okay, all y'all are twins. All these twins are just happen to be in my live stream. Farissa says I used to be a triplet. What you mean used to be? Jenna says my uncle's a twin. Okay. Wow. My grandmother's a twin. Yeah, my grandmother's a twin too. My nephews are twins. Thank you. Somebody said congrats. Okay, my wife is pregnant with twin boys and my dad is a twin. Okay, Kevin. See, my brother's his wife, because they're married now, she's an identical twin. So I'm hoping they have twins. And I told her, I said, they have twins. Can I have one of the babies? Yes, I did ask that. I don't care. Let me have one of the babies and y'all keep one at y'all's house and I'll keep one at my house. I love little babies, you guys. So we have a lot of twins. Okay, right. Look, young NWA says, "Why all of a sudden everybody's a twin?" Thank you. Everybody a twin? Really? I got all these twins. Some of y'all are lying. Thank you guys so much. Mari says, "Congratulations." Thank you so much, Mari. Lanice says, "I gave birth to twins." Okay. Somebody else says, "I had twins in my family." Okay, thank you, Fight Me. At least Fight Me is real. She says, "I want twins." I would love to have some twins. My grandfather's sisters are twins. Okay, Nikki says, "I wish I were a twin." Okay, perfect. It's funny how all these twins came out of nowhere. But then, let me explain this to y'all. Even though a lot of people raised their hand, I don't know if they were all twins, but let's say this. Have you noticed there's a lot more twins now in society? Now, let me take it back to the 80s and the 90s. When we were growing up, twins were, a rarity. Like, I remember we had two twins in our hood, right? We had Simon and Sean. They were identical boy twins. And then at my junior high, there was Crystal and Tristal. They were the twin girls. And then my good friends back in high school, they were twins, but they weren't identical. They didn't look nothing alike. Shakita and Lakita. And so, like in like back then, twins were a rarity. If you saw twins, like nobody even knew Shakita and Lakita were twins because they didn't look alike. But like Crystal and Twistle, they were identicals. But like when you say identical twins, it's like everybody stops them and stares and asks them 50 million questions. And are you guys twins? And what I've noticed now, especially in Hollywood, it seems like there's so many twins being born. So much so that you'll even see arguments online where it's nature, like natural twins versus IVF twins. And people even question people and say, well, your twins are not that special because, they're IVF. You know what I'm saying? Or, you had them implanted. They weren't just natural. So there's like a huge debate online. And they're even saying now that because of Hollywood, people are now demanding twins. So we're seeing a rise in twins. Let me pull up some of these pictures here. Let me see. We have Sarah Jessica Parker. She has her twin daughters. We have Nicole Kidman. She had twins. Let's see here. And then, of course, Beyonce. And they're saying, what's with the twin explosion in Hollywood? Everyone assumes that it's due to IVF. And there was another. Did I not put it in here? Let me see if I can find this other article. Give me 2 seconds here. Is this it? Okay, here it is. Okay. So this is what this article is saying. They're saying basically twins in demand through IVF. Despite some couples' desires, doctors counsel against trying for twins through in vitro fertilization. So again, because we live in a me society, we have a lot of people now who are now demanding like, hey, I want some twins and I want you to carry them. I don't feel like being fat and gaining a bunch of weight, but I'll pay you to carry my twins. So it's getting so crazy that in some schools, there are so many sets of twins that it's insane. There was one, like if you Google sets of twins, they'll come up. I'm about to show you some of these articles. We got some more donations. Nana Naya says, you deserve it. The content is extraordinary, like a distant sister. Thank you so much, sweetie. I appreciate it. Terrell Bembry says, where can I order your tea? Thank you for the donation. Go on to Amazon.com/shops/lovely tea, LOVELYTEA, or go on to lovelytea.net. You can order my tea on there. And also, these on-the-go tea bottles are also on there as well, okay? Yes, shameless plug. So, anyhow, there's like a rise in twins, right? So I want to show you these. Let me see if I pop them in here, because I have a bunch of screenshots. Let me see. I think some of the screenshots got left on my desktop. I thought I put them in here, but I guess I didn't. Okay, so look at this. When you Google sets of twins, this is insane. I just took a screenshot for you guys. So look at this. Seeing double, kindergarten class has 11 sets of twins. 18 sets of twins at one school. 13 sets of twins attend attend the same St. Louis County Elementary School, right? But then peep this. Hold on. Let me pull up this other article. Or this other screenshot. Oh, same one. Hold on. There's another one I had. Okay, here it is. Okay, so here goes another one. 9 sets of twins graduating from Lake Gibson High School this year. 10 sets of twins graduate from one Maryland high school. Chicago High School has 44 sets of twins in one grade. It's like, what is going on here? So that's why I told y'all, there might really be all them damn twins in my comment section. I didn't expect to see all them hands. I thought I'd maybe see like 5 hands. There were literally like 30 hands. But then we do have almost 2,000 people watching. So, I mean, it's insane how many sets are twins. Look at people talking about this shit is Illuminati. So, yeah, it's a lot of twins. A lot of people are demanding twins. Somebody just said people need to stop playing with God. Moderators, please don't delete everybody's comments. Make sure you guys are reading them, because it was a really good comment, but it was hidden. Something about people need to stop playing with God. If you're meant to have twins, you would have them. Bree says J-Lo, Mariah, Angelina all have twins. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are just having twins now, and it's getting to the point where it's like twins, and please don't take offense when I say this, twins, people who are twins, you know, my twin sister-in-law, my brother's best friends, they're identical twins. You know, it's very hard for me to tell them apart, and I've known them for years. I'm always like, Peter or Kenny? But anyway, so don't take offense to this, you guys. I think it's getting to the point where so many twins are being born that it's going to end up not being as special anymore. If everybody can just go and just do IVF or just have somebody carry your twins, then it's almost like, you know, like, I don't want to walk down the street and every 5th person is a twin. You know, like that. I mean, like, that used to be like a really special thing. Like when you be like, oh, you know, you're a twin, or oh, a twin. Like, 44 twins in one school? That is insane to me. So it's like, I don't know. Part of me feels like we are really playing God, because when twins are only supposed to be like 1 in like 250 births or something like that, and now it's like 1 in like every 30 births or some shit is like twins now. So it's insane. It's really crazy. Let's see. Shakia says, yes, I work in a daycare and there are 6 sets of twins at my center. No lie. That is crazy. Tata Mia says, twin pregnancy is hella hard. It really is. It really is. To be a twin, to carry twins, it's, you know, it's double everything. It's, you know, double your energy, your breath, your blood. It's a lot. And, you know, you have people demanding that these surrogates carry twins for them, because, again, it's, you know, it's not just enough attention to have a baby. Now I have 2. Now I have 3, you know, so it's insane. Somebody says, I went to school with 3 sets of twins and they were all related, same mom and dad, and they weren't IV twins. Okay, that's very interesting. Miri Vida Bellissima says, I genuinely love your products. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. I'm so glad you guys are loving the tea. I've been putting in work, getting them out there, and we're coming out with a Christmas line too, so you guys stay tuned. I'm going to have a Christmas gift box with 3 different sets of teas, so they'll be available soon. Let's see here. Somebody said it's something in the water. LOL, all these damn twins. It's big here in my hometown of Twinsburg. Okay. And we have the Minnesota twins. So that's always funny. But yeah, it's a lot of people that are like just having twins. And it's almost like, you know, is there going to be so many twins out here that it's not going to be as special now when we see twins? So I want to go ahead and play you guys this video. Hopefully there'll be no echo Hopefully you guys can hear it. Let me know as soon as it starts playing. Give me 2 seconds here to find the video on the twins. Okay. Hopefully you guys will be able to hear it. All right, so you guys can't hear it? Okay, perfect. Let me try it again. YouTube is on one. Let me try this.
This group of graduates, all twins. Start counting. 1, 2, 9 sets of them.
I knew that there were a handful, I just didn't know there were 9. Like, I didn't know it was record-breaking.
These young ladies, 4 of the 18 twins at East Meadow High School in New York. They were honored by the principal during their graduation ceremony.
And he goes, so can all 9 sets please stand? And like in the whole entire thing. Yeah, I guess you can consider it stage fright, but we all stood up and I was loving it. I was like, oh my God. And I was like, oh my God.
The teens have no idea why there were so many in their class. Was there something in the water?
Mom, like in 1998, like what was going on? Or was it 97? Because technically... I mean, technically it was 97 because if we're all born in 98. Yeah.
One set of twins actually transferred into the district just a few years ago. Mackenzie Solomon went to prom with Jesse Weiner, another twin in her grade. But her sister Molly opted out of going with his brother.
I know we talked about it, but then we kind of just went with our significant others.
While these siblings all grew up at each other's side, they're heading in different directions as they set off for college. Well, except for 1/6 of them who chose the same school. For InsideEdition.com, I'm Lee Sheps.
Okay. All right. So you guys just saw that. I don't know what's up with the sound tonight, but I'm glad you guys were able to let me know. So, yeah, as you guys see, they had so many sets of twins at their high school getting ready to graduate. Then there's another one at another high school. It was like almost like 44 kids, you know, at one high school. So it's insane how many twins there are nowadays. Let's see here. Mike says, I think it's a coincidence. I mean, we have a lot of people in the world. You better call Maria and Becky with the IVF cells. Let's see here. Having twins in families isn't a big deal. I'm a younger brother of twin sisters. In case you're wondering which one is the evil one, they both are. Fraternals, oh God, these are going so fast. Twin gang. Yeah, there's a lot of twins, you know, so that's another thing with IVF, that they're saying that IVF is definitely raising the level of twins that we now see in society. They're saying because of something in I don't know, whatever they do to make the egg split, that sometimes it can cause it to double split. So a lot of times there will be like a twin birth with IVF. One thing I did learn that I didn't know, I always just assumed that if people had twins with IVF, I always thought it was because of 2 different eggs. I always thought they were fraternal, but you can also have identical twins with IVF as well if it ends up splitting. But scientists has not found a way to make identical twins. So even though they might have been planted with IVF, or, you know, a surrogate may have carried them, if they're identical twins, that was nature. Like, scientists have not discovered how to make identical twins. They can make fraternal twins by having 2 separate eggs, but identical twins, that is still a work of God. So don't feel bad. Let's see here. Candace Evans says, love your content and your point of view. I love how you get the full story before just posting what everybody else is saying. Congrats on your earned success. Thank you so much, Candace. I appreciate that. I really do. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's going on with this. So we've been on here for 1 hour and 18 minutes. Let's see here. I don't want to make it too long. We're almost done. I wanted to point that out. Let me make sure I have all my notes here. Okay, so I wanted to talk about global surrogacy. We have to talk about this before I leave. So there's a clinic called BioTexCom. And anything that has bio in it, I always give it the side eye. It just reminds me, like, I don't know, like biotech and, you know, genetics and eugenics and just all that, you know, technical stuff and, you know, playing with like human genomes and all that. So anyhow, there's a clinic called BioTexCom, and basically they are one of many clinics that have opened up around the world, and they like to go to, like I said, the word, third world countries and set up shop. And so it got so bad in like the mid 2000s. There were so many basically what you would call breeding farms, breeding hospitals in India, where people from like the UK and Australia and like all over the world would travel to India. And you guys can watch these videos. I posted some of the links down below in the comment section. And you just literally have a room, of like just women just pregnant. They're all surrogates. They're all pregnant. They're all like in this one room. It's like 50 women in a room, and they're near their delivery dates. And basically, they are being used to have babies for people in the UK, some people in America. And it got so bad that India had to start making laws, because you had so many surrogates, so many poor women who are willing to be surrogates to get money, because as we all know, you know, it's, the economy in India is not too good, right? And it's a lot cheaper. So a normal pregnancy in like the UK and in America can cost anywhere from $18,000 to $30,000 for a surrogate, right? But in India, you can have an Indian woman carry your child, right, for $5,000 to $7,000. So hence why a lot of these women are being used. They're literally being treated like, you know, breeders. Like, you know, they have one baby, give it to this, you know, UK couple, and then, you know, within 6 months they're pregnant again, and it's just a whole cycle. And so India, okay, so let me just read this here real quick. India legalized commercial surrogacy in 2001, but they had just only had a handful of regulations. And in 2012, they started mandating more regulations. And part of that, they prohibited gay couples from using Indian surrogates, single men, single women, unmarried couples from different countries, because it got so bad. It was almost like these whole breeding farms, you know, in India. So now the Indian government had to step in and start making regulations like, no, we're just not going to be popping out babies using Indian wombs for all these different types of people. So now that it's slowed down in India, they've now moved to other, you know, sections of the world. So now Ukraine is becoming a booming population now for surrogate mothers. Mexico is starting to boom in surrogacy as well. Now, the sad thing about in India, in one of the videos that I watched, let's see here. Let me just see some comments. 52 says, damn, can we just stop procreating? We got enough kids with no homes. That is so true. That is so true. Jada Lynn says, this is terrifying. Paco says, what? Wow. Sarah says, infertility is heartbreaking. It definitely is. Trust me, it definitely is. And my heart goes out to people who can't have children. Let's see here. Okay, yeah, Chinese people. Yep, that's the same. That's true. Young NWA says, a Chinese woman can carry a kid for $20 and a bowl of rice. You know what? I'm going to block you out my comment section. Okay, Young WA has joked. He said $20 and a bowl of rice. That ain't right. You got to give her at least a few stacks. Come on now. But, okay, so back to the woman in India, right? So the reason I bring up the global surrogacy is that a lot of these women are being taken advantage of, right? A lot of these women don't know how to read contracts. Some of them barely know English. You know, they might be telling them certain things in Hindi, but that doesn't mean that that's what's being said in the contract. So what a lot of these women in India did not realize is that they were literally signing their life away. And because they are in India, you know, third world country, they don't have like, you know, the highest, you know, medical advances, let's say. So let's say this woman is preparing to give birth. And a lot of times out there, they do C-sections. They don't like doing the vaginal birth because they have to make it where the baby coincides with the couple from overseas with their plane ticket, right? So if I'm in the UK and my surrogate is about 8.5, you know, 9 months pregnant or whatever, right? And they're saying that she's supposedly due, let's say June 19th. That's her due date. So then I would buy my ticket for like, let's say June 10th. You know, I want to be there at least 2 weeks. I buy my ticket for June 10th. So by the time I arrive, let's say she goes into labor earlier, she doesn't go into labor, but I only bought my ticket from June 10th till like June 22nd, right? And she still hasn't given birth, or the baby's not ready to come out. At that point in time, they will do a C-section. So most of these births are done by C-section to accommodate the people who are paying money, to accommodate their traveling schedule, right? So what can happen is that when these women in India are delivering with C-section, and we all know if they don't have the right tools, you can bleed to death. You know, things can happen to you. You know, having a baby is the closest thing to death. That's what old people used to say all the time, and it's the truth. That is the closest thing to death that a woman can experience, is having a baby. Yes, it's a joyous moment, but you go through a lot, and you know, to come out with a healthy baby and to not die during childbirth is amazing, because at the turn of the century, many women died during childbirth. You know what I'm saying? Many women died during childbirth. You know, I had very high risk pregnancies. I could have died with my last child. So pregnancy is not a joke, and it's not to be taken lightly. And even if you are healthy, you know what I'm saying, you can always risk dying during childbirth, right? So what happened with one Indian woman is that after she had the C-section, she literally bled to death. And they told her family, there's nothing we can do, because they signed a contract. Their only job is to save the baby. The baby is a commodity. The baby is what gets the clinics paid. So if they cannot deliver a healthy baby, the clinic doesn't get paid. The Indian woman doesn't get paid. You know what I'm saying? So their whole job is for the clinic to get their money. If the woman happens to die, well, you signed the contract signing your life away. And if you die during childbirth, that's on you. Our job is not to save you. We don't get paid for saving you. We get paid for saving that baby's life. So it's a really dark industry. You know, don't let these celebrities fool you. It's a really dark industry. There's definitely a dark side to it. And there were so many women in India that were dying from like these C-sections and giving birth, and there's not really regulations there. So it wasn't like these women had to be a certain age. It wasn't like they had to have, you know, 2 kids beforehand. You know, this could be a girl who's 16, 17 who decides to be a surrogate, and you know, the pregnancy takes a toll on her body and she ends up passing away. But as long as they can save that baby, they make money off that baby. Another thing that has come up too, it was another situation where, now let's say, okay, I was talking about implantation, right? So they'll implant, you know, multiple embryos. So then sometimes they'll force these women to have twins. So they call them, you know, if you're pregnant with one baby, they call it a singleton. If you're pregnant with twins, they'll try and force them to carry the twins, you know, to like, you know, gestation or whatever, right? So let's say the woman's birth to twins, but the couple, you know, we only signed up for one baby. You know what I'm saying? We can only afford one baby. We don't want twins. Then what ends up happening is that other twin, they end up selling it. So now you have child trafficking getting involved, where now they're selling that twin baby to somebody else. So the rabbit hole goes so deep. It's such a crazy industry where they're literally using women as breeders, and then they're turning around and selling these extra babies because they're not going to get rid of them, not going to kill them. That baby is a commodity now. And now let's say a couple comes and they're like, oh, well, you don't even have to wait the full 9 months. This chick just happened to have twins. The other couple only wanted one baby. We have an extra one. Do you want it? It's that real. Am I still online? Uh-oh. What is going on? Okay, can everybody see and hear me? I don't know if it's working, because it's saying that my stream is really low. It's saying YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain a smooth streaming. Okay, you guys can still see me. Okay, good. You see, whenever we talk about some deep shit, here come all these technical issues and glitches. Now, if I was talking about shaking my ass and twerking, the stream would be good. Okay, good. I'm glad you guys can see me. Did you guys hear everything I said about the Indian people and them selling the twin babies, or do I have to start over? I just want to make sure you guys heard that part about the twin babies. Okay. Okay, good. I'm just reading the comments. So yeah, it's a very, very, can be a very dark industry, and I just want people to really do their due diligence. Yes, they do. They sell the extra babies. And so now a lot of countries are becoming more hip to this. And in Spain right now, surrogacy is outlawed. And so what happened is that a lot of infertile couples are now trying to go to the Ukraine and use Ukrainian women, to be their surrogates. And so what's happening is now at the Spanish embassy in the Ukraine, there's like all these families and all these babies that are now stuck in the Ukraine because the Spanish embassy is saying, no, we didn't tell your ass to go out there and go hire a surrogate and have them have your baby and do all this sneaky shit. Surrogacy is not allowed in our country, so you might as well sit your ass in the Ukraine. So now there's all these families and these babies that are now stuck in limbo in the Ukraine because Spain would not grant them a passport for their babies because they look at this as child trafficking. So now they're trying to figure out, do we stay and now make a life in the Ukraine? Do we sell this baby and then go back home to Spain? So it's a lot of stuff that's going on with this international surrogacy that nobody is talking about, nobody is researching, nobody's really bringing it to the forefront. And that's why I really want to do this show. Slim Shady, hotter than a set of twin babies. I love that rap. Thickum says you cannot adopt in Muslim countries. Let's see here. Why don't they go to Portugal? It might not be popular in Portugal, but I know there's a lot of people in the, a lot of surrogacy is booming in the Ukraine thanks to Biotexcom, which is the company. And so a lot of the women there are even complaining, like some of the surrogate women were complaining and saying that, once they sign up, they feel like they're just being treated like trash. The one girl said that she went and the hospital told her that her fetus had been dead for 2 weeks and the clinic only gave her $300. So because she wasn't able to carry the child to full term, they gave her $300 and basically told her to try again. So it's like just a rotating door. It's just really crazy how a lot of these people, are being taken advantage of because, again, most of the people who can afford to use surrogates and buy surrogates are people who have money. The average person, doesn't have money for IVF and, surrogacy and stuff like that. So you have the rich taking advantage of the poor and taking advantage of poor women and saying, let me rent your womb. I want you to carry my child. So there's a lot of people who are doing this and they're abusing the system, and these women are being taken advantage of. Now, granted, you could say, well, they're getting paid. They know what they're signing up for. But I think they sell it to people in a way where it's just like, oh, you're helping somebody out. It's not a big deal. It's only for 9 months. And then you have the money. You can, go buy a house. You can take care of your other children. But they're not realizing how it takes a mental toll on these women when you're giving away babies that were incubated inside of your womb that you have some type of connection with. Even if you try not to have that connection, it's still a part of you that's now gone, and like somebody said earlier, well, what about postpartum depression? They don't care. There is no postpartum depression counseling for these women. You're a commodity, and it's just like, okay, next. When are you going to pop out your next baby that we can sell? So it's a really crazy industry. Let's see here. The problem is people going to other countries instead of adopting babies from here. People going to other countries like they're buying puppies. Shake my head. Yes, Ashley. Yeah, well, we have so many kids in the foster care system, kids who need adopting, things like that. And people would rather go and hire a surrogate in India for $5,000 and, do the whole shebang out there. It's insane. Let's see here. It's a lot of comments. If you sign up for a baby and the surrogate has multiples, the parent should be responsible for whatever the surrogate produces. Yes, that would be nice, but unfortunately, in the contract, if the parent says they only want one and the surrogate ends up having twins, by the grace of God, identicals or something like that, there have been cases where they've been like, no, I want the girl twin, we're out. Or I want the boy twin, we're out. And then that surrogate gets stuck with this child that's not biologically theirs, and at that point they have to decide, you're going to keep the baby, you're going to sell the baby. So it's a lot of stuff that happens with that situation. Another thing here, because it's an hour and 33 minutes. This discussion has just gone on so well. I'm really happy. I talked to our friend Jeff the other day because I told him I was going to do this show. And we were talking about surrogacy, and he was telling me that in China, because we know for so long you can only have one baby in China, then they finally stopped the whole one baby rule. But for so long in China, you can only have one child, and most people preferred to have boys because when, you know, families get older, they feel like sons can take care of you, daughters usually marry off, and, you know, whatever. So they used to prefer to have boys, and then what happened is that it ended up being more boys in China than females. And, you know, girl babies were being abandoned. And you had a bunch of white folks back in the 90s running to China to adopt Chinese babies and bring them back to America and all that good stuff, right? So what Jeff was telling me is that basically now, because they're, you know, because of the strict one-child policy, even though it's been lifted, but because they have such high advances in China as far as technology, now they're the first country in the world to make designer babies legal, from what he's being told, from what I heard from him. I still have to research it, but we do know that designer babies have been created. And so I remember when Christy Teigen told the world, because she went through IVF, to have her baby. She carried her baby, though. She didn't use a surrogate, but she went through IVF. And I remember when she told the world that she chose her gender for a child. She chose to have a girl. They wanted baby Luna. And I remember a lot of folks were really upset, like, that's not okay. How dare you choose the gender? You need to be lucky. You know, whatever you get is what you get. You know, you're the one who can't get pregnant anyways. You should be happy whatever you get. So she received a lot of criticism and backlash. And then other folks were like, you know what? Nah, fuck that. If I'm paying $10,000, you know, for IVF, I get to pick the gender. You know, if I already have 2 boys, damn it, I want a girl. And so that's been like a lot of the mentality, but it wasn't where she had other children. This was her first child. So I noticed a lot of people, for the most part, are somewhat comfortable when it comes to genders, okay? Because we saw Candy and Todd talking about on the Real Housewives of Atlanta how they wanted to use both of their eggs, and I think one egg was a boy, one egg was a girl, something like that. And so it seems like we're getting more comfortable as time has gone on with people picking the gender of their child. Like, okay, well, I want a boy baby, I want a girl baby. Okay, so how comfortable are we going to get? Is it going to be okay when we start deciding, well, I think green eyes are better. You know, I want my baby to have eyes like Felon Babe. I want my baby to have blue eyes. So let me design a baby with blue eyes. Or, you know, who wants to deal with kinky hair? Let's get rid of the kinky hair gene and have everybody have, you know, quote unquote, curly good hair. You know, shit like that. Or, you know, oh, dark skin, nah, that's the thing of the past. We just want more racially ambiguous babies. So I'm just throwing this out there to say, where does it start and where does it end? Because if we're comfortable with picking the gender, are you guys comfortable with picking certain features? And what features do you guys see that would be high on the priority list versus other features that people would just really not want to choose? I'm going to go to the comment section. Let's see here. We all know that sperm decides gender, Maya, but the scientists can now pick the gender is what I'm saying. They can create a boy baby, okay, after, you know, and then they can create a girl baby is what I'm saying. We all know what the sperm does. Let's see here. Somebody said, oh, hell no. Ms. Blue says, stop playing God. My goodie says, that's exactly where this is heading. Picking the best features. Exactly. Exactly. And I think that's the scary part. Dark and Chocolate says, what you're saying is correct. You're right about everything. Kevin says, what if twins are hereditary in the infertile couple? Do they still have the right to say they only want one baby if the surrogate is pregnant with twins? Yes. It's whatever they want because, again, this is a business transaction. So that's like if I go to a car dealership and I want a black car and you're trying to sell me a red one. No, I'm paying my money. I want a black car. That's how they look at it. It's a business transaction. So if you have twins and I can't afford to take care of 2 babies, I can only afford, you know, 1 crib, you know, and that's it. And I don't feel like breastfeeding 2 babies at the same damn time. I'm going to take my one. And if it's a boy and a girl twin, I pick the girl and I'm out, or I pick the boy and I'm out. And this happens time and time again, unfortunately. Aquamarine says, messing with stuff and then the kid doesn't end up looking anything like you. Right? Yeah, you're right. You know, when you're designing stuff, and you know what the sad part is, Aquamarine? There's so much self-hate in the world. Do we even want, you know, you got people who don't want their kids to look like them. Like, let's keep it all the way real. It's some of these self-hating ass people, and this doesn't, you know, I'm not just talking about black folks. You got, you know, white folks out here too who want to be darker and look more racially ambiguous. You got white folks who are blackfishing. So I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is that you have a lot of people who don't like what they see in the mirror, period. So if they could change and tweak certain things and make it where their baby doesn't look like them, and they make their baby look like the ideal of what they think beautiful is. They can make the baby look like Kim Kardashian or Kylie Jenner or Beyonce. Sadly, you have a lot of people who would do that. You have a lot of people who would do that, who would design a baby to look just like Beyonce, have the same caramel complexion, hazel eyes, sandy brown hair, things like that. I mean, think about how many people will have a biracial child in hopes of, you know, watering down their gene pool, or in hopes of hoping that that baby has certain features. And then when that child doesn't come out with those features, they get mad. Like, for instance, Crystal Smith, Neo's new wife. She was on Instagram one time ranting and raving that her child didn't have good hair, and she was mad because she's biracial, she's mixed. So she assumed that just because she's mixed, her child should have her features, and that's what Neo thought too. And them kids came out with some kinky features, just like with what's the one, Gilbert Arenas. You know how he's always attacking Lupita Nyong'o, but then when you see his children who are half Mexican, his kids look full black. So you have people who, you know, will sometimes have children with other people outside of their race in hopes of watering down their genes, or having them have less black features. And then when they come out looking just as black, looking damn near full black, they get mad. Well, he finally, you know, got his wish, because he's with a white woman now, and they had themselves a, you know, little mixed baby. So, you know, yeah. So it's crazy, but designer babies are coming down the pipeline. Mark my words. Let's see. Rumi Luck says, with designer babies, there will no longer be people with genetic disorders such as Down syndrome, which people look at as positive effects. I'm so glad you brought that up. That is so true. And that's another way that they're selling designer babies. If we can make the perfect baby, then you don't have to worry about them having, you know, physical disability or mental illness. And I remember on Little Women LA, y'all know that's my... That's my guilty pleasure, honey. I love to watch these damn little women fight and act the fool. So anyways, on Little Women LA, they were talking about that. They were talking about, you know, when they go through the IVF process, how would they feel if they had the IVF doctors take out the gene that causes dwarfism? And it caused a lot of controversy, but some of them thought that it was a good thing because they don't want their children to go through what they had to go through, being dwarfs and being made fun of and things like that. And other people were saying that, well, if we get rid of the dwarf gene, what is that saying? Are we saying that we're not humans? Are we saying that we're not good enough? Or we're saying that we don't deserve to live? So, I mean, it's a very, very slippery slope when you think about that. But I mean, I definitely see the positives, because again, there's certain things you don't want to pass down to your children, certain disorders and illnesses and stuff like that. But then again, if we say that it's okay to take out a specific gene because we don't want our kids to be dwarfs or have Down syndrome, then again, you know, can we judge somebody for saying, well, I want my child to have the best in life, and I want my child, you know, to be tall and 6 foot and be a model or be a basketball player, or to give my son, you know, the green-eyed gene so that way, you know, he can stand out more in the industry, you know. So just different things. It's such a slippery slope. Andrew says, instead of designing babies, people should just play Sims. Nadia says, playing God will never end. Jonas says, frozen babies can't be normal babies. Yeah, you never know. You know, it's a lot of stuff to think about. And I know a lot of people are bringing up the church. And I looked up to see, like, you know, what does the church say about this? Like, what does, like, what do like Christians and stuff like that think about surrogacy? Because when you think about it, we've always had infertility. You know, even in the Bible, there was an older woman, I think her name was Sarah. Don't hold me to that. I don't know. But she was an older one. Maybe her name was Rebecca. I don't know. But she couldn't have children. And then she ended up having a baby, like God blessed with a baby like in her 60s or something like that. But I mean, think about it, like, there was no IVF back then, and are we meant to take children from somebody else's seed and implant them in ourselves and carry them for people? Is that something that God would like, or are we playing God? And so I looked up some information because that was something that I was curious about. And the Catholic Church, this is what the Catholic Church says. Okay, I'm not Catholic, but I thought it would be interesting to see what their take on this was, like from a religious aspect. So the Catholic Church asserts that surrogacy is morally wrong for very simple reasons. Surrogacy turns women into breeders, children into commodities, and procreation into business transactions. Even if it's done with altruistic intentions, surrogacy still violates the rights of the children and fails to uphold the sanctity of motherhood. That's what they said. I'm just saying. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Abraham's wife, Sarah. Thank you. I knew it. I thought her name was Sarah, but I wasn't sure. Thank you so much. Let's see here. Alex Laney says, I agree. Joe says the Special Olympics will have a whole different meaning in 100 years. It will be genome babies and super strength, super speed. Christians, we don't judge, we mingle. Let's see here. Miss Maya Ruiz says, I'm not Catholic, but I have to agree with that statement. Somebody else says, good point, Catholic Church. 5-2 says, all right, then sip tea. Carissa says, yes, less melanin in the eyes causes eyesight problems. And Jessica says the Catholics don't even like contraception. Oh, yeah, that is true. They don't believe in contraception. That is very true. So, yes. Okay, so Sarah says she had a baby at 90. Okay, so the lady Sarah in the Bible had a baby at 90. Thank you guys so much. I'll be mixing up my Bible stories, honey. But, yeah, this was a really good show. We've been on for an hour and 45 minutes. I don't want it to be too long. This was definitely a great show. We had a lot of people here, really good discussions. Again, I didn't do this show to shame people who are infertile or who dream of having children. I didn't do this show to shame people who want to be surrogates. All I'm saying is that just really do your research and really pray about it, really think about it, and see is that really a good option for you. You know what I'm saying? How will these babies be, like this new generation of babies that are being born with somebody else's DNA and being implanted into somebody else's body? How will those babies be 5, 10, 15 years from now? Think about Kim Kardashian's children. Even though all three of them, St. Northwest and Chicago, they all share the same DNA, but Chicago was incubated in a black woman's womb. Okay, so she was born via surrogate. So is she going to be totally different from her siblings? Were there certain songs that the mother was listening to? Is Chicago going to have a little bit more soul, you know what I'm saying, than the other two? Like, those are things I think about. Is she going to be more different from her siblings? I'm going to be paying close attention to these 3 kids and, watching them grow up and see, like, if she ends up being, like, a lot different. Is she going to be a wild child, more calm, things like that? Because her womb is, the black woman's womb that she was cultivated in is very different from that of her Armenian, biological mother, Kim Kardashian. So these are, like, really, really, I'm just keeping it real. These are things that we really should question. Sketch, thank you again for the money, Sketch. It's your birthday. You blessing me, boo. Sketch says, thanks, T. I learned a lot. Keep up the good work. And that is my goal. That's what I want to do on these Sundays, is to just educate people and just start a discussion. It's not to shame people. It's not to make people feel bad or, none of that stuff, because at the end of the day, I'm not in your shoes. And, I know how hard it can be because I have friends who want to have children. They can't get pregnant. They've been trying. And, so I get it. So it's not for me to judge. All I'm doing is putting the information out there and saying, if you're going to do it, just do your research. Know who you're going to use to be your surrogate. Don't go, run into India and putting these Indian women through more abuse and things like that. And if you use a surrogate and the baby comes out, not perfect or whatever, don't just sit there and be like, go get an abortion, or I don't want to have nothing to do with that child. Like, just really think of all the things that can happen when you go into a surrogacy situation, because so many times, you know, these celebrities sell you a dream like everything's perfect and everything's cool. I got my baby and that's it. Meanwhile, that woman who carried that baby for 9 months, what is she going through after you've gone home to go raise this child? You know, what is she going through mentally and physically? You know, because after you have a child, you know, you're still trying to get back. You're bleeding. You're still going through a lot, like physically, like you physically gave birth to a child, and what is that woman going through? And some of these surrogates are hurt because they said, like, once they give the babies to the parents, that's it. There's no more communication. No, how are you doing? It's like, you know, you make friends with somebody, you build a bond with somebody for 9 months, not just the baby, with the family. Then once they get the baby, it's like, boom, they got their baby, they're gone. So, you know, it's a lot of things. There's a lot of nuances to this. And I think that people are not being open and honest. And the reason why I really want to do this show, because I notice, like, when people leave comments in different comment sections and say, this is weird, I don't get this, or I'm not feeling this, I would notice that people would be attacked. And it's like, no, it's not cool to attack people. People have the right to question things. People have the right to second guess things, look deeper into stuff, you know, especially when this is not normal. Let's keep it real. It's not normal for a man and a woman to have a child implanted into somebody else's uterus and then that baby be carried. If that was normal, then that would happen naturally. You get what I'm saying? So this is not normal. So anything that's not normal, I like to research and really like look deeper into it. So that was the point of this show. Again, it's not to be mean, to belittle, to make anybody feel bad. It's just putting the truth out there. And like I always tell you guys, I'm a truth teller. The truth divides. It doesn't necessarily bring people together. So I'm always going to speak my truth, and I'm always going to put the truth out there. So I hope you guys learned a lot from this show. And, you know, if you are a surrogate or think about being a surrogate, you know, just please be careful and just take it very, very seriously. And just realize that you need to be mentally prepared, you know, to give that baby away. You know, you have to be mentally ready and mentally prepared. And sometimes, like I always say, all money's not good money, especially if you're not a mentally strong person, because at the end of the day, that child may not have your DNA, but that child has your essence because it was cultivated in your womb. So on that note, you guys, this was an awesome Sunday. Thank you to everybody who joined me tonight. I had a really good time. We've been on here for almost 2 hours. So I'm going to go ahead and get ready to log off. So I will see you guys this week with a bunch of new videos, new tea, and everything else. So you guys have a good evening, okay? Bye.